Hello. Today I'm Aries Yeneman, and today I would like to take a minute to talk to you about teen pregnancy in Indiana. Did you know that Indiana is the sixth most pro-life state in the nation? With 70% of pregnant women that live in Indiana live in a county where there is no abortion clinic available to them. And when they do get availability to an abortion clinic in Indiana, they have to go through the Indiana 18-hour consent law. What is the 18-hour consent law? Well, it is where the pregnant person has to be in a face-to-face meeting with a physician or healthcare worker at least 18 hours before the procedure is done. What they must talk about is the procedure itself, alternatives and risks to the procedure, and give the woman an option to listen to the fetus's heartbeat and see an ultrasound. This is all taking place 18 hours before the procedure of an abortion is done. Now, this is very important to what I'm talking about, but it's not my main focus for today. The teen birth rate in Indiana is 20.8%, where Indiana teaches abstinence only, and where sex education is not mandated in schools. This is a big deal. Here on a graph, I have the teen birth statistics between Indiana, Louisiana, Vermont, and California. Just look at it for a minute. Indiana has 20.8%, Louisiana has 27.8%, Vermont has 7.6%, and California has 12.4%. Though size does matter, the difference here is that Indiana and Louisiana both teach abstinence only, while Vermont and California promote and teach comprehensive sex education. There is a difference, and it all comes down to what the schools teach. What were you taught? How were you taught? Who taught you? Were you taught about contraception or abstinence? Were you taught about birth control and condoms? Were you taught about abortion, and was it seen as an option? It does matter what schools teach, and that's why it's so important for sex education to be in schools. I've been mentioning comprehensive sex education and abstinence a lot today, so I'd like to iterate on what it is. Abstinence is taught that it is the only morally acceptable way to prevent STDs in pregnancy, basically having no sex at all. And abstinence-only education does not talk about condoms or birth control. But they are talked about if it is to talk about the failure rates of these items. But on the other hand, we have comprehensive sex education, which includes medically accurate terms and evidence-based research about contraception and abstinence. And they also teach about birth control and condoms. That's the difference, and it is drastic. In my conclusion, comprehensive sex education can prevent teen pregnancy. And schools can choose if they want comprehensive sex education for their students. And I believe schools should choose that option. And parents are also need to be a part of this. Talking about the issue makes people more aware. And talking about it with your parents and talking about it with anyone does matter, and it can bring more light to the situation. Sex education or sex should not be seen as taboo. It should be seen as a learning experience. It should be seen as something to be taught, not something you just learn on your own. Speaking of learning, I have gave some resources here, Advocates for Youth and Amaze.org, to teach yourself more about contraception, abstinence, and all that I have talked about before. Now, it would be lovely if I could have any one of you respond to my Google form, as this is how it measures my action and impact on you guys. It would be amazing. Thank you so much for listening to me.